Welcome to Beat Everyone. I'm Ben Flanagan with AL.com. Alabama is in the midst of another SEC gauntlet right now, and they've passed all these tests with mostly flying colors so far, but it's not like it gets any easier in this league. On Saturday, they go to Columbia. They're double-digit favorites against South Carolina, which has not mattered during the Kalen DeBoer era so far to some degree, and it's been a season-long struggle for Shane Beamer's team so far, but a visit from Bama seems like the perfect time to put it all together. The point is, we need help breaking this down. And honestly, I don't know what else to say about our guest today other than the guy just knows ball. You can find him on YouTube, on the Film Guy Network. You can now even see him on the Paul Feinbaum Show on the SEC Network. It's no surprise that this guy's moving up in the world. He's the film guy. Brooks Austin, thanks for doing this again.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to be back on here. Last time I was on here, I unfortunately had to pick the Alabama Crimson Tide against the Georgia Bulldogs, and boy, did I hear about that for a while. Until the conclusion of that Saturday night football game. And then it was like, Brooks, you were kind of right. That team in Crimson, they do have a little bit of that extra sauce against us. Something's going on there, no doubt.
Kind of right. You were right. You were pretty spot on about that game. That must feel pretty good when you go out on a limb like that, you make a call, and then everybody gives it to you.
Predictions to me are they're the only opportunity for me to tell myself I'm wrong. Like I point to them when I'm wrong. I don't point to them when I'm right. Like, especially that one. That football game every year is, no matter what, to me at least as an analyst, no matter what the film says, no matter what the stats say, no matter what your heart or mind say about that football game, just pick Alabama. There's no rightness to it. There's no, hey, let's give Brooks his flowers because he was bold enough to do it. No, that is 100% a stipulation in my YouTube contract. I will pick Alabama over Georgia, and I will pick Georgia over Tennessee. That's that.
Pretty simple formula. Yeah. We understand.
It's true. Lob credit at me for ball knowledge, lob credit at me for film evaluation. Don't ever lob credit at me for prediction analysis, ever.
Well, Brooks, you announced via your account online, Brooks Austin BA, this week that you were diving into the film, as you do. Yeah. You said, quote, "Pray for me. I'm about to go study South Carolina offense." And then later you said, "Always wondered who would be in a situation where they need a chemical shower. I know now." End quote. Brooks, that doesn't exactly sound like very high praise for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it without looking at the film. You can just watch TV copies and look at the box scores. They're scoring 13 points per game in conference. That ain't great. And it's not like they've played gauntlets to this point in the conference, I don't believe. I don't think they've played the top of the tops. I know they've gotten Vandy and did so without their starting quarterback, and they've played Missouri, but they haven't played a big boy like this. They haven't played an Alabama football team yet defensively. So very curious to see what this offense can actually summon. But, yeah, man, when I go look for, like, hey, is this coordinator bad? I just look for what I call bad processes, right? Obviously, they have bad results. Obviously, they're not scoring points. But I look for things that I would question as a football observer. Like, for example, you can't block five guys with five guys right now at South Carolina. You do not have five offensive linemen that can block five defenders at any point in time. So what do? They bring 9 guys into the box and go, okay, let's try to block 9 on 9. Well, I don't know, guys. I used to do there's 5 pick 1 type deal, and now we add 9 in here, and there's more options for me to pick on is basically what the math tells me, right? We're adding in additional opportunities for us to lose because we can't win right now with regards to blocking people. So that's first and foremost. I see other things that don't really make a lot of sense. Like, for example, Nick Harbor, though he was a 10-6 or 10-4 or 10-3 or 10-1, whatever it was in the 100-meter, guys, he was more of a Usain Bolt than he was a Justin Gatlin. And if you know anything about track, what I'm talking about is build speed versus out of the blocks speed. He has build speed from 20 yards to 60 yards. Boy, he is going to run by you. But what he is not is a 0 to 20 guy. Nick Harbor's never won a track event out of the blocks. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about why in the hell are you using him in jet sweep capacity? Why are you giving a build speed guy the ball on a jet sweep? That's all of our like really quick twitchy ball carriers that get those carries everywhere else in meaningful offenses, everywhere else in offenses that make sense. So things like that. Yeah, of course they're bad on the interior of the offensive line. They haven't recruited at a high enough rate. Of course, Josiah Thompson has taken a regression step. You just fired his offensive line coach that he committed to. Of course, the right tackle is not getting better. His name's Kason Henry. He was a 3-star out of Walton. He's probably reached his ceiling. You know what I mean? Like, there are obvious things I can point to, but when I go into those studies, I'm looking for like, hey, where are the bad processes? And I see plenty of those. I see plenty of bad processes.
God, man, it sounds like you need a hazmat suit to watch this film. Sounds ugly. I mean,
And I feel, you know who I really feel bad for, Ben? And I know you got another question for me, but like, I went into this season thinking Lenora Sellers could win the Heisman. He was that special. I thought he was good enough and would ultimately be the number 1 quarterback drafted in the NFL draft. That's what the tape last year with Dow Loggins as the offensive coordinator and his quarterbacks coach that both got ripped and taken to App State. I thought watching last year, there was ultimately going to be a level of maturation and a level of progression for Lenoris. And we've completely had that gone by the wayside because we can't protect this kid long enough for him to even have an opportunity to grow. I always say, I think 75% of the offense as a quarterback or as the downs as a quarterback are made for us to play within the system. The greats of the greats are playing with inside the system, taking checkdowns, taking open receivers in the progression. They're doing so right now on 75% of the plays. The other 25% of the plays, go be a superhuman. Go be what made you a first-round draft pick. Go be what makes you a $2.5 million quarterback in college. But unfortunately, they are so bad on the 75% of the vanilla that he feels like he has to be a superhero on 100% of the downs, and it's completely stunted his growth.
I mean, you've already hit it pretty much, but you released your top 10 quarterbacks in the SEC list this week, and Ty Simpson is at the top. I went looking for where you put Lenora Sellers, and I made it to number 8, and then you wrote, I ran out of good ones, right? And we all thought, it wasn't just you. I mean, don't be too hard on yourself here, Brooks, but we all thought that Sellers was going to have a big year. At SEC Media Days, he was named preseason first team All SEC. He gave Alabama a lot of trouble last year, and he gave a lot of teams a lot of trouble for the reasons that you mentioned. He whipped Oklahoma. They whipped Texas A&M and Vandy. He threw for 8 touchdowns, ran for 7. So why has it been such a struggle, other than the reasons you've already listed here? And which Lenora Sellers do you expect to see on Saturday?
Boy, I'm gonna rile up some older Alabama fans here with this one. We should have known. And it has nothing to do with Mike Shula. It has everything to do with his Wikipedia. And what am I talking about? Well, Mike Shula hasn't called offensive plays since 2016. Went 9 years of professional football, being an analyst and being an assistant, not calling plays, helping with play design, helping with film studies, helping with identifying deficiencies with the opponent, like all the football stuff. But calling plays is a totally different bag. That's a in the heat of the moment, you got 20 seconds to make a great decision. Hell, you got 10 seconds to make a great decision because we need 20 seconds to get set up and see what they're doing, that type of stuff. So it's been 9 years since he's done that, and he has never called plays on the college level, ever. So like we should have kind of known this was going to happen, at least from a strugglesome point on the offensive side of the ball. What I can't figure out is why people are regressing as talents, like why Josiah Thompson is a turnstile at left tackle. That's the stuff that I can't figure out. That's a blue chipper. I thought Josiah Thompson, based off freshman tape, had an opportunity to be a top 32 guy one day. And that doesn't look like that right now. And again, I know we fired our offensive line coach, who I would imagine the young kid had a relationship with, but like there's a lot of things going on there that just like really makes me scratch my head, and also makes me say, yeah, dude, like you should have known this was going to struggle. You also, like, of all people, I give myself a lot of blame here, but give myself some credit. Of all people that studied football last year, I knew how great Dow Loggins was. I should have known that this was going to be a big-time loss. I think the other thing for me is that I've also known for a while that, like, Shane, I love Shane as a football coach. I love Shane as a man. Like, I would play for the guy. I think he does great things. But when you've never been an offensive coordinator, or when you've never been a defensive coordinator, when the pinnacle of your career prior to head coaching is you are a special teams coordinator, if one of the sides of the ball, if one of the offensive units or one of the defensive units is just plain bad, you don't have an ability to go over there and pull the nose up. And that's a concern, right? You don't have, like, it's not as big of a concern as what like Hugh Freeze is doing at Auburn, where you're only responsible for the offense and the offense sucks. What's going on there? We got to get rid of you. This is different. Like, you have no ability to fix it You can't go over there and pull the nose up. That's always scared me about these types of head coaches, that they can't just, oh, we're bad on defense. Don't worry. I got it. I'm the best defensive coordinator there is. That kind of thing.
Brooks, were you one of the dozen people who was in attendance to the Mike Shula protest in Columbia this
No,
week?
no,
Sounds
no, I
like it.
wasn't. No, I wasn't. But like, that's why I didn't put the video out, honestly. Like, it's why one of my tweets was, damn, this is bad. Damn, pray for me. And damn, I can't do this. I can't put this out on the internet, because nothing worse than mad fans about 13 points per game, no, except for fans who know why they're scoring 13 points per game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it would just be giving them ammo. And I don't think that's what my platform was built to do. I think my platform was built to acknowledge the great and enjoy the awesome and do all that stuff, not give ammo to fans who are rioting, ready to fire football coaches. I
Yeah.
like football coaches. I like what they do. I think it's almost like a public service thing that you get paid $800,000 minimum to do in the SEC.
It's Halloween season, so it's scary stuff. But I mean, 13 points per game, that's not safe for work either. So you probably shouldn't post that online. Brooks, I mentioned your top 10 quarterbacks of the SEC, but you also shared your top 10 in all of college football. Ty Simpson's at the top of both lists. You've got him ahead of guys like Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore, and even Julian Sand. We're seeing a lot of these clips of people singling out these individual big time throws that he's making. Everybody's saying this guy's already ready for the next level. All the experts are saying that he might be QB1 right now in all of college football. He's climbing the draft boards. We all know that he's playing well, but what do you see that makes him this good?
He's playing Sunday ball. He's playing NFL level quarterback, where, like, I love Fernando Mendoza out there at Indiana too, but there's still a lot of RPO slants, a lot of, like, if we throw for 300 yards today, 150 of them are on pick and stick, or Surratt, the ex receiver, dominating. Like, there's a lot of, he's a good thrower, but can he do NFL stuff from the neck up? Like, question marks about Fernando. I would argue the same thing about Dante Moore. Lord knows there's ups and downs with Carson Beck. So, like, I think the world of the NFL football, Darian Mensah is playing good ball right now, but has he done it at a really, really high level against great defenses? There's questions there. So I think when you look at it from a holistic standpoint as an NFL evaluator, you're looking for, first and foremost, a guy that can play NFL ball. Like, we have watered down the quarterback position so much to make it about RPOs and make it about collegey offenses, and can you use your legs, and can we roll the pocket? Like, for example, I'm watching Arch Manning, who I'm sure will be great one day, but Arch Manning's not controlling Mike IDs. Arch Manning is not controlling pass protections. Arch Manning is not checking at the line of scrimmage. Arch Manning is not, handling run concepts and flipping plays. No, he's lining up and snapping the football. And it's creating a lot of problems for him, too, because he doesn't know where things are coming from. He doesn't know what's happening to him. He's just worried about his concepts, not what the defense is doing. I saw it first snap of the damn career for this kid. Like, he goes down there to Florida at Doak Walker, and they play like poop. The whole team does, right? They lose. But that kid's dialed. There's a play in the red zone there where, and it's already gone on social media, where FSU's in cover 3. They've got a pressure coming from the left side. He stops, walks to the line of scrimmage, flips the running back, flips the protection, gets it all cleaned up, and then floats to his right just a tad bit. It's cover 3. The corner's on the outside of Jeremy Bernard. The safety's on the inside of Jeremy Bernard, and he throws it in the one spot only an Alabama player can make it for a touchdown. And it gets dropped. It goes off the shoulder pad of Jeremy Bernard, and everybody looks at it like, ooh, that's a dangerous throw. No, that was the throw. That was a Sunday throw. That was like only NFL guys choose to do that type of stuff. So, yeah, like I see through 7 games where there's so much confirmation of what we do on Sundays at the position that I would draft him 1. I keep putting him 1 overall, and, like, it's not just about the dude's playing great ball. He's playing the high-level ball. He's playing neck-up football, and that's the type of stuff that I love. I love studying that stuff.
Man, the film guy, you talk about high-level ball, man. That's impressive. I mean, Alabama lost Quay Rousseau a few games ago. It appears to be a long-term injury. No real timetable. He was obviously considered Alabama's biggest pass rush weapon, but we saw Yanze Pierre have a breakout game. Do you consider Alabama's pass rush a strength or a weakness right now?
I think everything about that football team is solid and championship caliber apart from run defense. And I think you even do that because you're trying to get a little aggressive. Like, I don't, it's weird. I came on here last time. I was like, hey, I wish Kane was listening and I could just grab him and say, hey, brother, simplify it a little bit. Get out of man-to-man. Play a lot of zone. Guess what he did against Georgia? I don't think I saw maybe one snap of man-to-man coverage on 3rd and 12 late in the fourth quarter. Like, apart from that, zoned it up, kept Gunnar Stockton under 230 yards passing and made Georgia get up off the field in critical moments. Boom. I feel the same way right now about their run game. Buddy, if you just line up and play defense, I don't think anybody's going to beat you. I have a hard time believing that some of these opponents that they're playing are actually able to run the ball. I think you're allowing them to run the ball. I think you're trying to hunt a TFL, and it creates a 40-yard explosive in the run game. That's what I think. When I watch them, I feel the same way about Ole Miss, which ironically enough, Pete Golding. Like, I feel the same way about watching that guy. Like, dude, you have a 6'8", 330-pound defensive tackle. Why in the hell are you wrapping him 3 gaps away from where he's standing? Just let him stand there. Ain't nobody going to move the dude. I feel the same way about Alabama's defensive line. Quit getting all this fancy stuff. Nobody's moving you. Just stand in. Be Alabama. I know that's crazy, but you got a top 5 roster in the sport. Just play ball.
So championship caliber everywhere except run defense. But a lot of people, the perception, and maybe you have a different perspective here, the perception is that one of the weaknesses is the run game on offense. I mean, little production, at least based on what people thought they would have going into the season with the level of depth that they had. But now more than halfway through the season, Jam Miller, he obviously started the season injured. We learned that Daniel Hill was banged up too. We talked to a former Alabama offensive lineman, Mike Johnson. He said that the run blocking itself has been pretty solid at times. He was talking about the Georgia game where he said the run blocking is there. Alabama's just not finishing the plays to take advantage. What do you see from the rushing attack right now that might be limiting the impact so far?
Creativity when Jam's not in there. And when I say that, I mean, like, there's only so many runs that we can run. I mean, nowadays there's duo, there's counter, there's inside zone, outside zone, and that's about it. Some people running some wham stuff, but like, when Jam's not healthy, I feel like you guys lean on duo heavily because that's what I think the other backs might be really, really comfortable at or really, really good at. And for those who don't know, that's let's call this simple football term. That's the downhill running game. You ever heard somebody say that? That's what duo is. We're just going to give the ball and try to go straight downhill off tackle. So I feel like sometimes y'all get a little simplistic when he's not in there, and that you got to grow out of that because I love Jam. I love the way he plays. I love his toughness. I love his character. I'm sure he's a great leader. I don't know anything about the dude personally, but like it is at this point, we cannot assume that Jam is going to be healthy. You know what I mean? Like, as an outside observer, I do not assume that or that we can even base the analysis on, well, when Jam gets healthy. Well, that's more of like a if at this point, not a when for me. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ben. That's the way I feel about his unfortunate, injury status over the last. I mean, it's been 2 years now, where I feel like I could look up any week and Jam could be out or not 100%. Is that fair?
Totally fair. He obviously was not 100% in the Tennessee game. And I mean, he had a concussion, or he was in protocol anyway the week before. He obviously has the collarbone, so I don't think we've seen Jam at 100% at all.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the lack of running consistency, in my opinion, because I'm with the former offensive lineman that you spoke about. Like, I don't think they're bad in assignment blocking. Like, they don't have missed assignments, and they damn sure don't get beat very often on that left side. From center to left tackle, like, they don't lose rundowns. If they're getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage, or it's not a successful and efficient run, 9 times out of 10 it's right guard, right tackle, or one of the wide receivers didn't do their job. Center to left tackle, elite.
Alabama has responded to that Florida State loss in a way that certainly reassures everybody about the rest of the season, but it also kind of still has everybody confused about why it happened in the first place, considering the trajectories of the teams since that game. I mean, you had such vivid recall of one play from the game. And I feel like if Alabama, for instance, goes on to win the national championship this year, even if they just go to the playoff and go to the national title game, don't even win it, I feel like people are going to be studying that game for years. Like, what happened? So now that we've had several weeks to process, Brooks, what's your explanation for what you saw in Tallahassee?
Oh, first of all, if you guys think you're bamboozled about that one, go listen to Mike Norvell's press conference yesterday.
Oh, man, crash out.
Question.
Total crash out.
I mean, I felt bad for the guy. I mean, secondhand cringe was off the charts with that one. I had to turn it off. No, man, I think Gus Malzahn? Is that all I got?
Probably.
I think that's the only answer I got. Gus Malzahn. Maybe Gus just had you absolutely dialed up. And that's what it was. I felt like it was more of a defensive issue in that football game than even an offensive issue. Like, especially once it started raining, it's like, good Lord, what are we going to do now? We're down 14 points. It's freaking storming like it could never imagine. Raining cats and dogs out here. And we got to score from 14 behind on a team that we can't seem to get off the field and stop running the ball on us. So I feel like that maybe. And like, it's like certain plays that I don't think, if y'all play them again, y'all going to beat the hell out of them first and foremost. But if you play them again, like, I don't think Dejon Lee is getting beat with a 45-yard explosive by Deuce Robinson early in the football game. I damn sure don't think Bray Hubbard plays like that. Like, that dude has played so inspired over the last 7 weeks that it was almost as if he went viral for one of the worst moments of his career, and that kind of stuff will, change a man, I would imagine, at 22 years old or 21 years old, however old he is.
Yeah, I saw one tweet about it, that Mike Norvell press conference that you mentioned, where it just said, Mike, just admit that you and Gus spent 6 months preparing for one game, basically, which is the Alabama game.
It could be that.
All right, last thing about Alabama here. If it's a midterm, if it's a mid-year review, what letter grade do you give Kalen DeBoer in Alabama so far in 2025?
Let's give him a flat 95.
Whoa.
Okay? If you beat FSU, it's 100. But man, I think we live in a world of college football where you have got to find ways to win critical downs, critical moments, critical games. And apart from FSU, they have been slap dominant. They were absolutely dominant on 4th down against Missouri. They were historically dominant on 3rd down against Georgia. They were incredibly solid on the criticals against Tennessee. So I think we live in a day and age in college football, particularly in the SEC. You can't say this about the Big Ten. I mean, hell, the Big Ten's got 4 ranked AP top 25 teams. Oregon's a 33.5-point favorite against a conference opponent. Indiana's a 24.5-point favorite against a conference opponent. Michigan is a 14.5-point favorite against a conference opponent. That crap don't happen in this conference. You guys are going to play the worst team in the conference, arguably, one of the worst 3, and you're a 12.5-point favorite. Like, that's the difference. So we play in a league that is a one-score league. So you better have football teams that can win the criticals, and you guys dominate the criticals. Absolutely dominate the critical downs and critical moments of the football game. Hell, maybe a 92 because of red zone offensive efficiencies still stalling out down there every once in a while. But apart from that, I mean, if I had to pick you today, I'm picking you to win the SEC. And I know A&M fans that might be listening to this are like, what a hater. He don't believe in our fighting Texas Ags. No, I just believe in the quarterback over here.
Brooks, you go to Yale practice one time and you'll be a believer, okay? So highly recommend it. Look, last thing really before we let you go, you've been so generous with your time and insight as usual. I got to say, I'm jealous of your set, man. That thing is awesome. So much going on in there. But I got to admit, the freaking Braveheart sword behind you always catches my eye. What's the story there?
Oh, the Braveheart sword. Okay. So I had a high school head coach named Kenny Dallas. Shout out to Kenny Dallas, Hebron Christian nowadays. His pregame speech every single game was the story of Gideon from the Bible. All right, and Gideon was this warrior who did not have a chance. I always explain it to layman's terms this way if you haven't read the good book. The story of Gideon is basically the original story of 300. Just 300 bad dudes taking on the world by themselves. If you were a 4-year letterman, all right, at my high school, you got a sword. So you go out here and swing your sword every single day. That's what I do.
Unbelievable. Go check out the Film Guy Network. Watch him on the Paul Feinbaum Show on the SEC Network. Phenomenal stuff so far. Brooks Austin, we appreciate you, man. Thanks again.
Thank you, guys. Y'all be good.